Clover was a chameleon. But not just any chameleon. Clover could only turn one color, bright, beautiful yellow. Most chameleons could turn all sorts of colors, green, blue, even purple. Clover watched them, changing from one shade to the next. She wished she could change too. It made her feel different, not in a good way. One day, Clover sat on a bright green leaf, surrounded by the lush greenery of the forest. The vibrant colors of the leaves and the gentle rustling of the wind made the forest feel alive. She tried so hard to change, focusing all her energy on blending in with her surroundings. She watched as the other chameleons effortlessly shifted their hues to match the leaves. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I want to be green like the leaves." But nothing happened. No matter how much she wished, her color remained unchanged. Clover stayed the same bright yellow, standing out starkly against the green backdrop. She felt a pang of sadness and frustration. She sighed a deep sigh, her heart heavy with the weight of her difference. Why was she different? She wondered, feeling a sense of isolation. The other chameleons gathered around, their scales shimmering in a dazzling array of colors. They seemed so confident and at ease with their abilities. They showed off their amazing colors, each one more vibrant than the last. Clover just looked down, feeling a deep sense of longing and inadequacy. She wished she could be like them, but for now she remained a bright yellow in a sea of green. Suddenly the wind started to blow. It was a calm day in the forest, but everything changed in an instant. The gentle breeze turned into a fierce gust, shaking the trees violently. The once peaceful forest was now filled with the sound of howling wind. The sky turned dark gray. Thick, ominous clouds rolled in, covering the sun and casting a shadow over the entire forest. It was as if night had fallen in the middle of the day. A big storm was coming. The animals were scared. They could sense the danger in the air. Birds stopped singing and the forest fell eerily silent, except for the growing roar of the wind. "We need to find shelter!" shouted Benny the bluebird. His voice was filled with urgency as he tried to warn his friends. The branches he perched on swayed dangerously, but the wind was so loud, no one could hear him. The trees creaked and groaned under the pressure, their leaves whipping through the air like confetti. The leaves were rustling violently. It was a chaotic scene with branches snapping and leaves flying everywhere. The forest floor was quickly becoming a mess of debris. Rain began to fall, making it hard to see. The downpour was so heavy that it created a curtain of water, obscuring everything in sight. The forest was now a blur of motion and sound. The forest animals were scattered and scared. They ran in all directions, seeking any form of shelter they could find. The storm had turned their home into a place of fear and confusion. Clover knew she had to help. The forest was in chaos, with animals scurrying in every direction, trying to find shelter from the impending storm. The sky had turned a menacing shade of gray, and the wind howled through the trees, making the branches sway violently. Clover, a bright yellow chameleon, felt a sense of urgency. She couldn't just stand by and watch her friends struggle. She took a deep breath and climbed to the tallest branch. From up there, she could see the entire forest, and she knew she had to act quickly. The rain started to pour and the visibility was getting worse by the second, but Clover was determined. She had an idea that might just work. Her bright yellow shone like a beacon. In the dim light of the storm, her color was a stark contrast to the dark surroundings. She hoped it would be enough to catch the attention of the other animals. Clover's heart raced as she prepared to call out to them. "Follow me!" she called out. Her voice was strong and clear, cutting through the noise of the storm. She waved her tail and made herself as visible as possible. She knew that if the animals could see her, they would follow her to safety. The animals saw her bright yellow color. One by one they started to gather around the base of the tree. They looked up at Clover with hope in their eyes, trusting her to lead them to safety. Clover felt a surge of determination. She couldn't let them down. It was easy to see, even in the storm. The rain was relentless, but Clover's bright yellow was like a guiding light. She began to move, carefully making her way down the tree and leading the animals through the forest. The wind and rain battered them, but they pressed on. Clover led them through the wind and rain. She kept looking back to make sure everyone was following. The path was treacherous, with fallen branches and slippery mud, but Clover's determination never wavered. She knew they were getting closer to safety. Finally, they reached a small, hidden cave. It was tucked away behind some thick bushes, almost invisible unless you knew where to look. Clover had found it during one of her explorations and knew it would be the perfect shelter. It was dry and safe. The animals hurried inside, grateful for the refuge. The cave was spacious enough to accommodate everyone, and the sound of the storm was muffled by the thick walls. Clover felt a wave of relief wash over her. The animals were so happy. They expressed their gratitude to Clover, thanking her for her bravery and quick thinking. Clover smiled, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. She had done it. She had saved her friends. They huddled together, safe from the storm. The warmth of their bodies and the sense of camaraderie made the cave feel even cozier. Outside the storm raged on, but inside they were safe and dry. Clover's bright yellow had saved the day. She had become a beacon in the darkness, guiding her friends to safety. As the storm continued outside, Clover knew that they would be all right. She had proven that even the smallest creatures could make a big difference.